the Greek Heritage Society of Southern California started in 1985, and it was founded by Jim Dimitriou and Zoe Fiddler, and there were a handful of people that started the organization to perpetuate Hellenism and to really help the community with projects. Now, in 1998, they approached me, and they had about 12 years of recorded interviews. My idea was to have a 3-part series because I felt that there was so much information, and there would be more information as time went on and we interviewed, to have a 3-part series. And we thought, okay, 3 half-hour series we'll probably do, and we'll call it The Greeks of Southern California Through the Century. Now, this was in 1998. You know, no problem, we'll get it done in a few years. Well, as I started researching and interviewing more people in the community, this became quite a project. So I informed the board, listen, these segments are going to be an hour each. And we applied for grants, didn't receive one. Great letters of rejection, let me tell you. I have the most wonderful letters of rejection. The common thread was great proposal, but the audience viewership is too narrow. And of course, that's our whole premise for doing the documentaries. We want more people to know about the Greek Americans. And we've done 2 so far. The Pioneers, that was the first one, 1900 to 1942, and our current documentary, The Promise of Tomorrow, that's the first generation, children of the pioneers, 1940 to 1960. Our third documentary, which we are in pre-production for, will cover the second generation, baby boomers, and the third generation, and also posing the question, where will Greek America be, you know, in the future?
What do we see the children saying? What are some common threads?
Well, we start with the vets of World War II.
Courageous Greece gave the Allies their first victory in Europe. Greek-American servicemen followed in this tradition, making their families and community very proud.
Many of them, at the time we interviewed them, were in their 80s and even some in their 90s. And they talk about the war. We cover all branches of the armed services, and even a group of Greek Americans that were in the OSS. They were in the Greek battalion. The threads that ran through were also the building of the community in Southern California. The building of St. Sophia Cathedral was huge.
Is there something that the Greeks from the East Coast can learn from these West Coast stories?
You know, the stories are so universal.
When I first arrived, I had to deal with a situation where the distribution of antidoron became a real problem. They would come from all sides at once at me. I discovered that because of my youth, they weren't paying attention, so one Sunday I told them, unless you come with water, you will not get antidoron.
There's quite a bit of upbeat, lighter takes on the culture and the stories.
Oh my gosh, oh yes. What we do is we talk about wearing the foustanella. And we interview several gentlemen who had to wear a foustanella, and every Greek-American boy has to wear one sometime in his life.
It was a traumatic day for me. I jumped out of the car and my foustanella fell to the ground.
That was probably the shortest F-zone you ever saw in your life.
One thing about Greeks, they can tell a heck of a story.
But we stood firm. Some of the guys in the group were big guys, and they let them have it. They tell you, hey, this is our culture, pal, this is what we do.
So that was the last time I'm going to wear a foustanella, you know.